Hello. Okay, I am going to attempt to make a setup tutorial for coding for Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'll try to make it beginner friendly. It's not too difficult, I promise you. First, download MEX TK tool, whatever toolkit. Download. Now, okay. I also recommend you getting Visual Studio Code or whatever you want to use to start coding stuff. It's just what I use. So, open up the Max thing. In here, you'll see all this stuff. What we want is the examples. Actually, well, what we want is a couple things, but examples. Here are all my code examples I have currently for like work in progress characters that are, yeah. So I'll show through Mario's example, kind of explaining the outline, and then I'll kind of go into other stuff or in detail. So basically, there's two main files for your character, and then you'll have like different files for each special move. Technically, you could have it all in just the like Mario.c file, but it's fine. It is probably better to not do that, just to have it cleaner, more organized. So yeah, you have Mario C and then Mario H. I will explain this now. Okay, so at the top we have include. This is including these files, so like Mario C right here, when we build with the code builder to attach it to the dat file, and then we can put the dat file in Melee. So yeah, the build looks for the C file. So compile code Mario C into Mario PLMR dat. So Mario C includes special N, special S, special high, special low. On our other characters, we're gonna include CPU to make it so the CPU doesn't crash. I don't know how this does it. It probably includes it somewhere. But so here's the files that's included in this. Then we have the OnLoad. It's when the character loads. So we have to like set up some stuff, but not too much stuff. But when you replace the OnLoad function, you have to reset some stuff compared to the original character's OnLoad. So this has fighter data that just is like your player character stuff. So this is pointing to where the special attributes are. So fighter data, special attributes 2 is this, which if I open Mario's file, it would be the attributes 2, where the special move code is, usually. Attributes, copy pointer 2 attributes. This is just another attributes thing. Special attributes 2. This is for item stuff. I might make a video in the future for items if there's enough demand. But you could just look at the Mario Fireball and try to copy it. Yeah, on spawn. Okay. So yeah, there's like basically you got the up top, the include, middle part, or even sometimes the bottom. Sometimes I'll have this at the top usually, but I guess it sort of matters sometimes, I think. So then you got the include part. You got the general like OnLoad or like on spawn. Do this. This is also where it'd be like on special high, go to action state, special high, start or something. Okay, so then this part, this is all of the special move action state callbacks, which is really important. So these are like the special moves. So this is special S 297. If we went to the, I can actually do that real quick. Okay, if we go in the Mario's file, fighter action table, here's the unique attributes or the special attributes. It's all this stuff, like these are the numbers if you looked in the code. Fighter action table, load model, and stuff. You can, I don't have it currently set up to automatically load, but if you have them in the same folder, it will load. So then we scroll to the bottom. So here's all his like special move stuff. It usually starts around 295. Or so 295, special in, special air, special S air, and so on. So yeah, those are those. That's where those are. So basically, we're gonna be replacing, to put our special or our custom code to make it do the move that we want. We're gonna replace these callbacks. So if I go to a different example, here is what it kind of look like. I'll show it in the process of whenever I actually do it. Here's all the action states and stuff on the callbacks. So these are the callbacks addresses. So we're gonna just replace these with our own custom stuff. So I guess I'll start setting that up and then get to that part. Actually, before that, I'll explain the header. So the header, this is just like your character. I don't actually know what this does, but I just replaced the name with my character. So like Mario. Include max, so that includes the file from max.h. These are item stuff, item IDs, max items. These are vanilla IDs, I guess. Special states. We're gonna have to define these ourselves. Like sort of like this, how it's numbered. I'll show you a different way to do it. That's a little easier. You don't have to number them individually. Here's attributes. Here's the structs. I won't really get into this much. I will a little bit. I'll add a sword trail, but yeah, this is the attributes. This is where in Mario's file, the unique attributes, special or attributes 2. So it's 2 , 0.0025 I guess that's what these are. These are more item stuff. Then down here, these are just like our functions. I guess they're listed here. I don't actually know why they're listed here. I don't usually list them here. Yeah, okay. Here is a more clean header that doesn't have much stuff. And this is the action states that we're like the 295 start. This is all of Marth's. You might have to. I don't know if there's a place to just copy paste all this for everyone. Probably not. So you probably just have to like type this out. It's like action underscore special in. It doesn't really matter the name. It's just whatever you want to call it, but I like to keep it similar. So like special in start or just special in and special in air. And so on for side special, down special. Marth has a million different variations of side B, so these are all the different action states. Up B only has 2 for air and land. Here are the states, also with the action states. They're related. This number, I don't remember, but it's important. Sometimes you have to change it. It lines up the... It like lines up the specials to do the proper one. Like, if it's out of order, it'll like do side B when you do neutral B or something weird. It's strange. Into end F. So I will start doing our code. So I'm using Marth as a test so I can like have an idea for a neutral B that I'm gonna code. I want it basically to, when you hold neutral B to charge Marth's neutral B, it will give you forward momentum is what I'm gonna add. And then when you let go, it stops. So he's like charging with a spear. And also I'm gonna use Lucina's neutral B animation for that I've already made. So create your fighter and duplicate like Marth or whatever. Files. I have to file OT. You'll maybe see why. I haven't put it in the file system yet. And then the animation OT. You can change the name. You'd also change it in the file. I'm not really getting into that. OT soldier over Marth. He's gonna charge with the spear, just as a test for fun. Okay. So if you go here in the fighters section and then go to code, you will see all this stuff. Here's like the addresses. You don't really need these on necessarily. You can usually just type like OnLoad or like void OnLoad JOBJ or GOBJ. Yeah. So what we want to do here though is go here, copy move logic struct. So that copies all of this part, all these. So let's go to a new file. Okay, here. change that to C, save type, OT dot C, save. Okay, now we have our OTC and OTH. I already made the H file. I'll have a template in the description for like this part, but it's empty and with some of this stuff. Yeah, so I put all this here. Actually, first, include quote ot dot h, and then I'm gonna look at this as a reference for other things. Oh yeah, CPU, and then that's the max.h. I don't know why it's actually like that. Yeah. So I'm going to include those two. Then I know I'm just copy pasting a bunch of stuff right now, but I promise I'll actually write some code. Okay. So I'm gonna take this attribute, use static struct moolah. I don't know what all this means. I just know it works, and I think this points to the H file somehow, like these maybe. I don't know. I don't quote me on that. So I'm gonna go here, just put that there. So now I think you might be able to leave these, but I always have issues with that, so I'm just gonna get rid of some of this stuff. All we really need is the addresses and then the comma. So, but it's useful to have the information, so I'll show you how I like comment or gray out the text so it doesn't do anything. You just use like 2 slashes and it grays out the text like this, which makes it so it like doesn't actually do anything in your code. It's just used for like commenting or putting notes. I'll be here for a second. Also, I'm not a coding expert. I started 3 months ago. So if I get stuff wrong, please forgive me. Okay. Now I'm going to go up here, selection, column selection mode. This lets you select like things in a column. So I'm going to go click down there, roll the way down, click right here, slash apostrophe, and then so that comments it out until I put an end one of these. So now I'm just going to go right here. And do it but backwards. So there. Now all that stuff's commented out. And now we just have this part, which is, again, the callbacks for our function that we're going to replace these. So, like, the animation callback, the interrupt as soon as, physics, collision, And that's all we really have to worry about. So I want neutral specials charge, or the loop. So I'm just going to make it on loop, have change the physics callback. Okay. So here's the loop. Here's the start, loop, end, and start, loop, end. I'm only going to do it for the ground version. So okay, so I have a template made kinda for just some basic commonly used functions and stuff that I use for this, and I'll put this in the descriptions, and so you'll be able to look at it. It basically just has all these like void, special end, and animation callback. It has all this stuff like set up already for me, so if I just rename it to whatever I need it to. Let me just get rid of all this stuff. Actually, no, I won't, because I might explain some of it. And I'm just going to delete it. This is just when you pass the ledge, like if you're on land and you walk off the ledge, what happens? This is what this does, if you want to look at that. Again, I'll have this template in the description, along with the code I wrote, so you can look at it. So let me ungray all that out. I'm also just gonna gray it out again, but like this. Physics. So I want this to make me move during the special end loop. So let's just change this name. Again, these names don't necessarily matter, but I mean, it helps you keep track better. So special end loop. Oh shoot, I just saved the template wrong. Okay, I'm just going to save the special template in the same folder as the oot.c. I'm just going to name it special in.c. So save. Now, so I want this. I have a bunch of useful stuff up here. Just common functions. I'll even show you more. So you go to maxtk, include, and then these have a bunch of stuff, a bunch of info. Some useful one is our fighter, which is like has all the fighter functions. Item, which has the item functions at the bottom. And so yeah, let me open up fighter. Put this on the side over here. And here's a bunch of stuff. Here's the fighter kinds, which we're going to use for the CPU later. A bunch of stuff. Here's all the common action state IDs. So like, if you want to like make a move be able to cancel into something, or just change the animation to like whatever. So like, have like at the end of the animate, like if you replace the animation callback over here on the left, you'd probably want to have like an action state change enter wait, or even at the bottom here, here's the functions. Is the good stuff. So here you have a bunch of stuff like enter fall, enter special landing, enter special fall, and then here on the side it like explains what these do. So like what the value, like can fast fall like 1 or 0, 0, 1, soft landing 0, 1, can interrupt landing lag 0, 1. This is air drift multiplier. That'd be like whatever number you want it to be, and then the landing frames of the, that's the bit you probably want, like how much landing lag it has. So there's all sorts of stuff here. I recommend looking over it. Basically what I want, I already have over here, and it is I'm just not, well, I am gonna copy paste a bunch of stuff still. I had to highlight. So fighter data, fighter GOBJ. GOBJ, that's basically the fighter, your character, and then so fighter data, or actually it could also be like item, GOBJ and stuff. But so we have the fighter data, which lets us, if we don't have that here at the top of this, it won't let us give it physics and stuff. So now, I basically want it to just give momentum always. So this would be really easy actually. So just self velocity. So I know I'm copy pasting. Fighter data, you have to have these the same, like where it says FD, it would be like fighter data. But you can also shorten it. You can name it whatever you want. I like to name it FD. So fighter data, FD, FD. But for just this, I'll have it fighter data. So fighter data, physics, self velocity X, which is left and right. X is and then the velocity, and then towards the facing direction, the player's facing direction. So like if I did a -1, it would make me go backwards, and if I did 1, it makes me go forwards. So I'm gonna do maybe 1.5 actually. So I'm just gonna save that. I'm gonna copy this part right here, the name, go to ot.c, so now we go to our end special loop, which is right here. So 296. It's 296. Action kind, special N. So we're just gonna replace the physics. We're just gonna Control V, paste, and then comma, and then we're just gonna comment out or gray out the old one, just so we still have it there if we need it for whatever reason. So now that's replaced, and now we have to include up here. Need to include the special .c, special n.c. So special _n. Oh, I have to include this, your character. So this will be OOT. My character's name is just OOT, the file for the soldier. That's what I need. Actually, I'll use Lucina's code as an example for this because it's more simple. But basically, for most characters, or from my experience, it's like relatively the same process. You just have to change a few things. Okay. So I'll go over this OnLoad again. While I'm doing it. So actually, I'll just copy it. I mean, also copy the reset attributes, which is just not really have anything in it that much. It has some things in it. I don't need anything in it right now, I should say. So, okay, so OnLoad, fighter data, this fighter varies, that's in order to keep track of if a special move has been used or not. For the side special, when the first time you use it in the air, it gives you a momentum boost. I don't need that. So the void OnLoad, then this address is your OnLoad address in Max. So you'll see right here. Sometimes you need this, sometimes you don't. For Marth, I think I did need it. Fighter data, FT state special, move logic. That's just the special move logic up here. Right here. Set viz group default. I have that for the visibility tables for his model. So like his player model and then the sword. So set those. Sometimes you need to do this again. It's viz table stuff's kind of hard or tricky. It's a lot of trial and error, but luckily the builder usually tells you where your error lies, so it's not too hard to narrow it down. Special used is again for the keeping track of the specials. I don't need that. So here's all I need, and then the max CPU spoof, and then I have it Roy, and over here on fighter.c or h, you fighter kind, you can spoof whatever CPU you want. You could give a Giga Bowser. I'll keep it Roy for fun. So yeah, and then the reset attributes also. It probably does something. I'm not really sure what it does. So you have that at the bottom. Then more copy pasting. For on respawn. So these are the main three you need. It's like the on respawn, on load, and then the reset attributes. Maybe you don't need the last one. It doesn't really seem to hurt anything having it. So I'll put that on respawn above the on load. Again, special use, don't need that. Character flags, I think I needed that. I think that's actually what made something work. I don't remember. I'll leave it there. Maybe you'll need it too. I think this also is for projectile stuff. You need this. Also, like here you see fighter JOBJ. This could also just be renamed. Like I could rename all these fighter underscore JOBJs. GOBJ. Where is it? Change all occurrences. I could just rename these to GOBJ, and it'd be fine. It's just shorter. It doesn't matter. It's just different ways of doing it. So, also the Lucina code I should mention was from Pigs. They did that. Yeah. That was a while ago before I started coding. And now that I know how to code kinda, it's been useful to look at for reference. So here's our onload. Just make sure that's actually the right one. yeah. So let me look over Lucina's C file again just to see if I forgot anything. It's all side special, on landing. There's different sorts of things you can do here. I don't really have a list of them. I don't know where you would find those. But okay, so now, oh yeah, this is glowing now. That's a good sign when it's purple. When it was purple. So I have my fighter data in here. I'm actually gonna, I haven't even set this up yet, so okay, here we're gonna set up the builder. So here I'm gonna use Mario as an example. It comes with a Mario example when you download the Mex thing. So here's the builder. We right click it, edit. You can see what it does. Source code. So this is the folder. This is the folder path for all the like Mex stuff. So source code, folder Mario C, FT function that adds it as an FT function to your player file, like down here. This one already has one technically because I'm using Lucina as a base, not Marth, but and then the PLMR. So, and then the item code, which we don't need right now, but so I'm just gonna copy this. Copy the build, paste it over here, edit it, change this to my file name, so OT, and we don't have to include anything else because it's included in the C file. So it's, yeah, so OT, and then this item part we can just get rid of. Save. I'm gonna name it build OT just so I don't get confused which folder I'm in. Now I can just do it. Now you'll see here I have some errors. Let me see. Special N, FD undeclared. So somewhere FD is undeclared, probably fighter data, and then FD shortened version. I just messed the name up. So yeah, right here, fighter data. Let's change this FD to fighter data, and now it should compile. Boom, and now we can test it. So don't forget to add your files back into this. You can actually set the builder up to like have it like have Mex in your file system or alongside your file system, and then you can have it go right to your files and build right on the file systems one. So OT and then AJ. Okay. Launch. Oh, I need to save. Save. If everything went right, it should work. And because I only replaced the physics callback, the collision and other stuff is not touched, so it's just default Marth's collision and all that stuff. Okay. Also, I should mention you should get the clone engine thing that Ploaj made. I'll maybe link to that in the description or something. It lets making duplicate fighters have less issues. I understand why I was crashing. I had couldn't find the name Mars because I named it Lucina. Or I'm using Lucina, so it'd be Lucina. There we go. Oops. Sometimes it's not even your code that's the issue. Okay, it loads. My player is visible. And neutral special does what it told it to. It goes forward. So hiya. Now that was really simple. What I did, I'm gonna show you a little more in depth. I'm gonna make them so you can jump out of this. Let's say so, like whenever you press a button, he'll go into jump. Also, the sword trail doesn't exist yet. I'll do sword trail first. That's a good sign though, because everything worked. So, sword trail. So, my favorite thing to do, copy from Lucina's code. Okay. This is just the sword trail description or example. I'm pretty sure. Just kind of made the work with, or it already works with Marth. So like, it's a Marth sword trail example, so it works with Marth. But sometimes you don't need some of this stuff. I think I don't know what. I don't know. You can just use the sword trail example and then kind of just plop it in places. So I'm gonna take this structs, paste it, sword trail. We can change the colors, I guess. I want the inside color to be brown, so save that. Now let's test the sword trail. So I'm just gonna test, build. Now go over here and then replace your files. Okay, yeah, the sword trail now. Okay. We're going forward. Now let's make it so you can jump out. I might actually just be able to put it in the physics and not mess with this callback, because I think that has, like, if you... We can actually look at the decomp for reference, so let me do that real quick. So, Mars, this is basically, I'll explain what the, like, this is like the like the Mario.c or Marth.c, then the .h, then this is the special move files. So I want and special. You don't need all of this stuff because you only need what you need, and everything else kind of just does it for you. I think, or I don't know. You just don't worry about this stuff. Special enter. This is an action state change. So change to the special end start. It's the air version. Do start anim. Okay. Where's the loop? So actually, I will just replace the IASA because I can just I'll do it. If you hold B, it loops, and then I'll also add the, if you can, like, have it so you can jump out of it. I know how I'm gonna do it now. So I'm gonna go here, IASA, fighter data, then I gotta do, so I have some stuff here. So if, okay, this is the input, so if input held, B button, so if B button is held, that's what this means, and then I will do a action state change to, maybe there's a better way to do it in action state, not action state, like maybe I can just change the state frame somehow. I don't know, but this works for me, what I've been doing. So action state, so this is the first one, it's the frame. So I'm gonna do it changes to frame 0 of action state loop. I don't actually know what that state's called. Let me look real quick. It'd be in OTH, and then right here the states. So state loop. Copy that. Special in loop. And then I will do a if button pressed. So or actually I can do a check jump input, I think. IASA check jump input in the functions. So IASA check jump F, I think is what I want. So let me copy that. If if fighter IASA or IASA, yeah, check jump is not equal, or not equal 0, which I think just means if it's on. Just like if it's doing it. So go down here and then enter. Then I could even just do a jump enter. I think I have up here jump on ground without messing up. Yeah, okay. I say jump check. Yeah, it's just the same callback. It also can do, yeah, these can do like multiple things. Like you can use them as an if, or if you like just do it like this, it just does the jump. I don't know. So save that. Copy this. OTC. Go to IASA. Control V, comma, // Let me change the name to loop. Just for the sake of it. No, build, does it work? FD, yep. Again, I forgot to change the fighter data to FD. So Okay, built successfully. Now let me place my files. Save. Okay. So because I put it at frame 0, it's gonna just do all the stuff again. Like all the graphic effects and all that stuff in the action script. So that's why I just doing that. But if I jump, it works. Look at that. Now I don't really like how it jumps straight up afterwards. I'd rather it have like forward momentum, so I'm gonna make it give you a boost of momentum when you jump forward. So all I have to do to do that is just take this momentum and then if fighter jump, press jump, and then whenever this is the area that it activates all the codes. So fighter data, and then that's good, just 1.5. So as you can see, I have this physics thing in the loop function, but it still works and it doesn't like mess stuff up. So it's kind of a guideline. And it's kind of like replace what you need to replace and look at the decomp to know which things you might need to replace and what not. So now when I jump, let me crank the number just to see what it's doing. What can I have it go to instead? So let me look at what frame I could make it go to not do all this other extra stuff. So state change, frame 7. So you loop it, it goes to frame 7, and it just goes there. You could also do like if you want like a little bit of a buffer, so like if doing it like this would just go straight to frame 7 and you hold B in the loop, it wouldn't even play the first 6 frames. So I'm actually just gonna do this. If state frame, which is just what frame it is. So if it's greater or equal to 7 and B button is held, it'll do that. So okay. So this is like so if state frame 7, all this is like one thing, and this is like one other thing. So state frame 7, and then goes into here and does this if state frame, or if B is being held, goes frame 7. And or maybe I want it on actually like frame 30, because like 29, 28. So that whenever you release B, I could do actually I'll just do it this way. I'll do an if B is not held, go into that. So if B equals 0, then I go into special end. How I'm doing it will probably make it so the charge of the sword isn't like the charge of the swing doesn't work right properly anymore. I didn't think of that, but I'm not really worried about that. So like, you know, that's not the main focus. Frame 0 of this, and so now build OT, built, place this file, save, and now this should be coming up on the end of the video. So thank you for watching. If there's demand for like an item tutorial or like a projectile, I could do that. If you have questions, go to like the Mechs server, Discord server, and look in the coding section, and then there's lots of useful information in there for you. Okay, but now it works. So like I hold B, I can jump out of it. I can let go, and it lets go. Here's the at the top, in the middle, you'll see the frames of the animation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all this, and then loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now it just stays at 7 until I let go, which it then goes end to end. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching.